George Floyd, rest in peace. That's what it says. That's what the sign says. That's what we say. But is he? That man is not resting in peace until the 4 officers that murdered him hold some charges and some convictions. He will rest in peace when the officer that held his knee on his neck for 9 minutes and listened to that man say he can't breathe, when he's convicted of a murder one, that's when he's going to rest in peace. Anything short of that, he's not going to rest in peace. But that's just my opinion. Thanks for tuning in. In this series on my channel, I like to talk about ride sharing, primarily Uber and Lyft. I like to talk about my experiences and some of the issues that other drivers may have throughout the state and or the country. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos regarding these issues. Thank you. What's going on, fam? So, wanted to do a rideshare video today, but I wanted to get something out as well as far as how I've been feeling with respect to this George Floyd murder and the responses and so forth and so forth. I listened to the media. They say George Floyd's death, when what I believe I saw, not only in the eyes of a civilian, but in the eyes of a former law enforcement officer, was a cold, calculated, coordinated murder of an individual. I've heard something about an autopsy being done already, and they're trying to say that he had a heart condition and he was highly intoxicated, and that was what caused his demise. And I personally, I don't believe it for a second. That's number one. 2, I don't believe there's any law enforcement agency in our country. I cannot include the third world countries and anywhere else, but in our country, that would sanction what everyone who's seen the video saw. No matter what that man did, short of killing somebody, and even then, we're trained to restrain, stop the threat, restrain, and then provide medical care. And none of that was done, right down to the folks that came to pick him up, because they arrived in an ambulance, but they were wearing bulletproof vests, for what I could see, and they looked armed to me. They didn't even look like paramedics. They offered no attempt to resuscitate. I did not see them try to give him any kind of respiratory aid, compressions, nothing. They made no attempt to deal with this man medically. And it was just a nightmare. It was a nightmare to watch. I think every law enforcement officer, just like Eric Garner, who sat there and watched it, and you hear this man saying he can't breathe, whatever, it just makes you cringe inside. For the folks who are lawfully protesting and expressing themselves calmly despite the outrage that they may feel, I have nothing but respect for you. for what it's starting to look like the majority of you idiots out there who are just looting and breaking into stores and setting fire to property and damaging property and stealing things. I have no respect for you. And the crazy part is y'all are doing that in your own neighborhoods. Some of the people that you know may work in those same stores, but y'all don't care. If it wasn't so widespread, because I hear now the National Guard has been deployed to 21 states, and most likely that will increase. And I understand that it's very difficult to contain these things and all of those. I've seen videos of people being shot with rubber bullets. I've seen what appears to be news reporters being arrested for no reason. I've seen all kinds of craziness, but rioting and looting ain't gonna fix it. And rich people out there, I heard Kevin Hart make this crazy rant. I heard LL and Nick Cannon fire raps about what's going on. But I hear all of that. But y'all are the ones that have a better chance of affecting change than most of us. Y'all have money. Y'all have power. Y'all should be doing more than raps and rants on social media, because that's not getting to the people that it needs to get to. Y'all should be picking up the phone and making phone calls. Y'all have illustrious careers. Y'all mean to tell me y'all don't know any politicians, be it black, white, whatever? You know, y'all don't know no people that have some real power? Forget about the million subscribers like me that may be following you that don't have it, that can't affect change in any manner, shape, or form. Y'all have the power. Y'all need to use that. That being said, it is June 1st. It is a beautiful day out. I'm wearing my bright neon yellow today, and I decided to come out after what is probably about 9 weeks to see what the waters were like as far as the rideshare game, and I wanted to share that with you today. So with that being said, let's get into it. So logging in today felt kind of funny after not logging in for so many weeks. But I don't know, I was pretty surprised to see the map being blood red as it was, considering it's still locked down, New York City, so forth and so forth. But I also have to remember to keep in mind that this typically, the heat map typically reflects the low end Uber services. So I quickly came down from that high. Okay, so once I logged on and I went to go check my preferences, I saw that this new service was available. And apparently they had got that going the end of April, I guess the beginning of May. In any case, what it boils down to is Uber is trying to do their part with respect to getting the first responders and medical staff to work at a cheaper rate. Basically what they're doing is they're cutting it to the passenger, cutting the cost by 25%. They're still paying the driver what would be in theory the full fare. So basically Uber is paying the 25% difference. So I guess that's pretty cool. So I ended up doing my first Uber comfort trip, as you can see. I'm not a fan of it. Basically it's a glorified Uber X service. But since I'm just getting started with getting back out, I figured I'd scoop up everything moving. Definitely not a money Monday, the way it used to be. But technically, the city hasn't reopened yet, and that's where most of my business landed. So we're gonna give today a pass. So as you can see, $85, 18 cents, 5 trips completed, and 7 wonderful points. How exciting. To further break it down, Uber had me online for 4 hours 32 minutes. My actual drive time was probably about 2 hours, if that. I sat around a lot in between calls, and I also declined a few trips. As you know, I have a very, very low acceptance rate. And here we have just a more detailed breakdown of how the day went with the net fare. Got a $5 tip, pretty cool, and $13 in Uber promotions, which is the equivalent to the surge or flat rate surge or upfront pricing or whatever you want to call it. Who cares? Anyway, again, $85, 18 cents. And my actual drive time was pretty much around 2.5 hours. And when you do that math, that comes out to about $34 per hour on average, which is still where I like to be. Again, continuing to break down things a little bit more in terms of the 5 trips. You can see I did 2 comforts, 2 premiums, and an XL. And for those who have been tuning into my channel with respect to rideshare, you know that I haven't done an XL in a long time. So I just wanted to finish up the video with a few pictures that I took this morning. It's sort of like a hobby I've had for the last couple of years, morning shots. That being said, whether you're a rideshare or you're a millionaire, be the best person that you can be. Stay frosty, and remember, sky's the limit. Peace. This logo is a registered trademark of the Sky's the Limit family, LLC.